So let's actually get to making this game now we know all about the editor. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you a quick tip. If you are lost and you can't find anything in your scene, you want to jump to a specific point. If you click on anything, for example the cube, if you double click it, it will go straight to it. You can also highlight it and then press F. Oh god, and then press F and it will focus on that object. So where do we get assets from? Well, you can make them using Photoshop and images and stuff like that. But the best place to get assets is from the Unity Asset Store if you're starting off. So under Window, you can see that we have the Asset Store option. This will open up in a new tab, and obviously you can drag this tab anywhere you want. The whole Unity UI is very modular. And what we're going to do is we're going to search for the Standard Assets pack. So it's just this first one here. And then we're just going to import this. Now I've already downloaded it, which is why it's not showing download. But if you have never touched this before, it will say download. You could just wait for it to download. It's not very big, I don't think. Well, I mean, it's doing something, so I can't actually move that. There you go. It's 182 megabytes, so it's not that big. But once it's done, it will import. And this is what the import sort of UI looks like. So it will show you everything that it's going to import. We want to import everything, so we just click this all button and then click import. And it will just process everything and add it to our project window. And this will take some time depending on how fast your computer is. Mine's pretty fast, so it'll probably chew through it in just a second. But obviously if you're on a slower machine, it's going to take quite a bit longer. So as you can see, it's starting to go through everything now. And hopefully, once it's all done, we should be good to go. Just give it a second. It does take quite a while. Anytime today would be nice. Okay, it looks like it has finished up right here. So what we can do is that we can go back to our scene view and you'll see that nothing's changed. Why is that? Well, that's because all our assets are put very neatly into folders. So here's the standard assets that we've imported. Also comes with some sample scenes as well, but we won't be touching those too much. So we have a couple of folders which are in this standard assets package. You can look through them all if you wish. But I'm just going to tell you something about this standard assets pack. If you are on a newer version of Unity, like Unity 2019, you will have some errors in your console. So the console is basically the thing down here, which basically tells you if there's any errors or not. We've also got auto-generate lighting, which we won't go into too much. And beside that, there's normally like a little like spinny wheel. This will basically tell you if your project is like doing something. It will come up when we fix this little error. So if you're running an older version of Unity, you won't have this error. But because I am, it will come up with this. So no need to panic. Don't worry. It's just because when new Unity releases come out, they deprecate certain things, and it's just a case of this is really old. I don't know if you noticed in the asset store, but these are for Unity 2017.3, but they still hold up today. So what we're going to do, we're going to quickly fix this little script. So if you do get this error, if you double click on it, it should open up the relevant script in Visual Studio. If you don't have Visual Studio installed, it probably will come with your installation of Unity. If it doesn't, you can download it from Visual Studio. Just do a quick Google search. It should be the latest 2019 version. 2017 looks similar. I've just got a dark theme on my Visual Studio. So, as you can see, we'll load this up. Do not worry about this. This looks very daunting. But what we're going to do is we're literally simply just going to delete all the lines where you see the little squiggle, because we're not actually going to be using the script, so it's safe to delete all these lines. You could go through and fix it if you really wanted to by changing all the sort of deprecated things. So if I hover over this, it says GUI text obsolete, GUI text has been removed, use UI.text instead. We're not going to be using the script anyway because it's just for something else that we won't be using. So we're just going to safely get rid of those lines, hit save or save all. And then what I like to do is click this little button down here. It's called Run Code Cleanup. This will basically remove any unnecessary usings, tidy your code up, and it's just a nice practice to do. Once you do that, hit close, and you'll see down here this little spinny thing. It's just going to compile everything and make sure that everything is working correctly, basically. So it will sort of import everything again. It shouldn't take that long. As you can see, we do have a couple more errors. Everything in the console is split up into 3 different segments. So there's messages, warnings, and errors. Warnings are basically just bad practices like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, but it's fine. We will let you slide. Messages are just helpful, informal messages. And errors are sort of the things which you need to look out for, as those will not let you do anything unless you solve them. It's safe to clear all these out. If you do get any errors, you should just press clear anyway. Unity won't clear the ones which are fatal and won't let you do stuff. Right, so now let's actually get down to sort of doing stuff. I say that before we do, there is one more thing. If we go to Window, then Package Manager, we can see all the packages that we're using in this sort of project. So what you want to do, you want to go to this drop down here. It should default to Unity Registry. You want to change to In Project, and you basically just want to update everything which is out of date. So as you can see, you have a load of ticks on the side, but this one has a little down arrow. That means it has an update. So for example, for me, Timeline and Test Framework need updates, so I'm just going to update these to the latest version. It's good practice to always update your packages to the latest version. And we're not just in here to update packages, we're also here to install some new packages which are going to help us build this game. I'm also going to remove some unnecessary packages that I don't need. So I don't need the Rider editor because I'm not using Rider to edit stuff. I'm not using Visual Studio Code as either. Do not mix up Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio. They do sound similar. Visual Studio Code is a separate application. If you are installing Unity from the Unity Hub, you should have Visual Studio, not Visual Studio Code, so you can get rid of that. That's pretty much everything that we need. You can keep the others. If you want to read up on what any of these packages do, if you click on one and then click on the view documentation, it should tell you what it does. So now if we've sorted out our packages, they are fully up to date. What we want to do is we want to change this drop down to In Project back to Unity Registry. And we're actually going to find a certain package. We're going to find the post-processing package, and we're just going to click install. And we're also going to install the package right below that, which is Pro Builder. So we're just going to wait for post-processing to sort of import. And packages work slightly differently to assets. They're more inbuilt to Unity. It's sort of like a curated asset store, if you will. It just adds, it doesn't add any assets, like graphical assets. It just adds more functionalities to the editor. The packages are in a separate folder down here where it says packages. And you almost never go in there because everything just works out of the box. So it's just importing the post-processing package. And we're going to be using this later down the road. Next up, you want to install Pro Builder. So if you click that and then click install. And then it should eventually import everything. does take a while. And then after this, we can get started.